Oye, mi gente, welcome to the Max Breakdown, where we will be diving into sports news, sports cards, cultura Dominican style with a twist on it. I will be starting off with a hot one. Why paying Lamar Jackson even more money will be a horrible idea. All right, let's talk about it. Lamar Jackson, signing him to this massive extension that he is looking for would be a massive mistake. Lamar came out this week saying that he loves Baltimore, loves the city, loves the organization. All that's cool. But guess what? But love doesn't win a Super Bowl ring. Production does. Durability does. Big game moments do. And here is the truth that nobody in Baltimore wants to say out loud. Lamar Jackson has never won a Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, he's never even been close. And he wants more money? Holy moly. Like at what point do you say, stop asking for more money? We've gone that route and we see what the team could be when we put all our eggs in one basket. Lamar Jackson is on pace to get $84.34 million this next upcoming season when the cap hits. Like, so basically the salary cap went up this season to historic levels. It went all the way up to $301 million. Lamar Jackson is going to get 84 million of that 301. This ain't basketball where you only have to fill in 15 spots. My people, we're talking about 53 spots. Like, at what point do things just don't make any sense? So, no ring, no, great numbers. And why are we giving him this money again? So I'm going to say this. If you live in Baltimore and you are a Ravens fan, I mean, I would write a letter to the GM and say, I want to be competitive every season. And you giving Lamar an extension and more money, it ain't going to happen. So you cannot win a Super Bowl when one player eats your entire salary. Eventually, that player, like Lamar, he misses games every year, has durability questions, and quite frankly, he has never delivered in the postseason. And, to take it a step further, what exactly has he done since signing that massive $250 million contract? Please tell me, what has he done that now he wants more money? So, let me give you some facts. Last season was one of his worst of his career. Career low in rushing attempts 67. Missed 3 games with a hamstring issue. Missed practice with knee, ankle, toe, and back issues. Oh, and wait. The Ravens missed the playoffs. 8-9 record. So what will be your team if you were to give them more money? And of course, because, listen, maybe it's not fair to blame Lamar. But John Harbaugh, you could make an argument that part of the reason why he was fired was because the team didn't perform. And who is the team paying the most money so that the team could perform? Lamar Jackson. So this is not the resume of a quarterback who deserves a raise. This is a resume of a quarterback who should be proving himself, not negotiating. Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP, and that's great. That's great. That's why he got his 5 years, $250 million contract. But MVPs don't mean anything in January. Not a damn thing. You got to get that ring. Lamar Jackson is 2-4 in the playoffs. Let me repeat that. 2 wins, 4 losses, 0 Super Bowl appearances, 0 conference championships, and 0 iconic playoff moments. I am sorry. You cannot be the highest paid quarterback in football when your biggest playoff highlight is a wild card win. Listen. Let's put it plain and simple. If I'm the owner and the GM comes to me with that nonsense, I'm firing him on the spot. Like, I don't care if I ever wrote you up. I don't care if we have never had a disagreement in the past. I don't care what you've done for the team. You come at me with that nonsense, I'm telling you, hey, empty your office. Empty your office. You're gone. Every year, it's something. Let's go through the list. Hamstring, knee, ankle, toe, back, missed practices, missed games. And he says that last year was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. No, it was not. This has been a pattern of 4 straight seasons. You can't pay a quarterback $80 million plus a year when you don't even know if he'll be healthy in December. I mean, look, I'm not even going to go there. The Ravens are about to pay elite money for a mediocre postseason result. Lamar Jackson is a highlight machine. He's electric, he's fun, but he's not a proven playoff quarterback. And until he proves he can stay healthy, win in January, carry a team deep into the playoffs, He does not deserve another massive extension. If Baltimore gives him more money right now, it's a horrible deal. It's bad business, and it will handcuff a franchise for years to come. I mean, if the salary cap is 301 million, why would I give one player 85 million? That just makes no sense. So I'm just gonna say to the fans, you give him another massive deal. I'm not gonna be talking about feelings. I'm not gonna be talking about facts. I'm not gonna be talking about productions. I'm gonna be talking about math. Math. Lamar came out saying he loves. Of course he does. Of course he does. Of course he loves Baltimore. Baltimore has given him a lot, and he has given Baltimore some stuff, but it ain't an even playing field by no means. But that's all I really got to say about Lamar Jackson. Let's jump into Anthony Richardson. Boy, let me tell you, this is one that my intuition was spot on. They were talking about how this guy is such a physical specimen. But Anthony Richardson was a mistake. And here why you should just label him a bust. Because you don't want to admit it, what the rest of the league already sees. He was a massive, massive mistake, and the writing is already on the wall. Look, nobody denies the physical tools. He is 6'4", 245 pounds, runs like a tight end, throws like a javelin. He looks like he's built in a quarterback lab. But how many times, people, haven't we seen this movie? Freak athlete, raw passer, huge upside. And then it never translates to the NFL. And with Richardson's numbers, the numbers tell the truth. Let's go back to college because the red flags were there. They were there. But these scouts, man, I'm telling you, these scouts, they love that physicalness. Oh, he's 6'4". 53.8 completion percentage at Florida. 17 passing touchdowns. Okay. But how many interceptions? Look. 9. This dude ranked outside the top 80 in accuracy. And you're going to tell me you're going to give this dude a first round grade? This is the perfect example of why what you hear things on these sports channels you have to take with a grain of salt. You have to take it with a grain of salt and look at the numbers because they don't lie. Let me scare you a little bit. He has one of the lowest on-target rates in the SEC. In college, it was well known. That's not raw. That's not needs development. That is flat out not a NFL passer. The dude has barely been on the field. Why? Because the coaches are like, yo, I can't put this dude on the field. I we see what he does in practice, and it's scary. Like one of these ball, what is it, a water boys could throw the ball like that. Just not probably with that speed, but they might even have better accuracy. Since entering the league, he's played a handful of games, missed time with concussion, shoulder, shoulder injuries, knee issues. He has yet to finish a full season. He has yet to show he could survive a 17-game schedule. You can't build a franchise around a quarterback who can't stay upright. You can't run an offense around a guy who gets hurt every time he takes off. I mean, listen. I remember listening to one of the sports show, and it was a fantasy football, and people were jumping on that train of drafting this guy as your fantasy football quarterback. If you did that in your league, I listen, I hope that the players in that league were horrible and they didn't catch it and you were able to pivot and pick up a good decent quarterback, because this dude, he was not it. And you had all these sports commentators talking about Anthony Richardson. So even when he's on the field, his completion percentage is still hovering in the low 50%. Like if that doesn't give you pause, what does? If that doesn't give you pause, what does? He struggles to read defenses. He holds the ball too long, and he misses layups. He lives off athleticism, not quarterbacking. And you know what? This is the NFL, not the SEC. You can't outrun everybody forever. So that tool that he has great athleticism. Just ask Lamar. Just ask Lamar if you could just use that, and that's gonna carry you to be great. You're gonna get exposed at some point. They drafted this dude fourth overall. Fourth overall. That just goes to show you how much these scouts know. It's probably like throwing a dart, and seeing what sticks. They sold out the fan base on upside. They told everyone that he was the next Jalen Hurts. But here's the difference. Hurts has accuracy. Hurts was durable. Hurts was productive in college. And Hurts won big games. Richardson did none of that. So now the Colts are stuck. You know what? They ain't stuck. Be like, look, you're going to do like many quarterbacks have done. You're going to transition to another position. We're going to put those massive hands and we're going to put that body to work. So let's see if you will be better as a tight end, even though we have a great tight end. Maybe we could use a package where we have 2 tight end sets. Or we're going to throw you deep and you're going to be a wide receiver. You're going to transition. Because you throwing the ball, it ain't it. It ain't it. So that's what I would tell him. And if you think about it, isn't it so familiar? Do you remember Jamarcus Russell, Malik Willis, who Miami threw the bag to, Paxton Lynch with Denver, Zach Wilson with the Jets, Trey Lance with the Niners? These people had all the physical tools, none of the translation. And you know who I'm going to add to that list? Anthony Richardson. Bottom line, the Colts swung for the fences and whiffed. They drafted an athlete, not a quarterback. And unless they pivot fast, they're going to waste years trying to force something that simply isn't there. Anthony Richardson isn't the future of the Colts. He's a bust. And the sooner Indy accepts that, the sooner they can fix it. If you want, you could tell teams, just give me a 6th-round pick and just take it. Just take it. Because you ain't gonna get nothing out of this guy. Shohei Ohtani just didn't do something absolutely ridiculous again. Back-to-back starts now where he walks out to the mound, hits a leadoff home run, and wins the game, and then walks off the field mad at himself. Like, are you kidding me? Like, if any of my players was to hit a home run and then pitch like if he's Greg Maddux, and you're upset, I'm gonna check your temperature because something might be off. Like the guy is just on another level, on another planet. The bro launched a 424-foot tank to dead center in the first inning, and we need to consider him a pitcher. Then he goes and throws 6 no-hit innings. Again, 6 no-hit innings. Gives up, he gives up 1 run. Drops his ERA to .82. That's just video game stuff. That's just insane. And what does Ohtani say after the game? That he's upset about the 4 walks, the hit by pitch, and the inefficiency. This man straight up threw 6 no-hit baseball innings, and he's going to criticize himself. This guy is on another level. So when it comes to Ohtani, he's the first human to ever hit a leadoff home run as a pitcher. And now he's done it 3 times. So he is on a historic pace. Through 9 starts, he has the lowest ERA in Dodger history. Even lower than Fernando Valenzuela, legendary run in 1981. He's only one of 3 pitchers since 1920 to allow 5 runs or fewer in his first 55 innings of a season. The other 2, Jacob deGrom and Al Benton. Now, we're talking about an era where a whole lineup hits home runs. A whole lineup. And this dude is pitching like if we're in the 80s, where if you hit 22 home runs or so, you were considered a home run hitter. At the plate, over the last 13 games, Shohei Ohtani has been hitting at a 383 clip with a OBP of 508 and a slugging percentage of 723. That's MVP level hitting while being the Cy Young front runner. How insane is this? Like, how insane? Look, I'm the first one to tell you that athletes get paid way too much. Now, I understand why they feel that way. Cool. But if I was to be okay with saying, you know what, if you're going to make that money, if somebody's going to make that money, I'm not mad at Ohtani making that money because this dude is not normal. This is not regular baseball. This is generational. Once in a century type of stuff. If you're not investing in a Shohei Ohtani card, then I don't know what you're doing. I mean, if you think about it, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with saying, I'm going to put some money on Ohtani. If I'm not mistaken, he already has more wins as a pitcher than Babe Ruth ever had. So think about if you were to say, I'm going to get some cards of the dude that has been the best two-way player. Like, it's this simple. Every time he does something like this, every time he breaks another record, every time he does something no one has ever done, his legacy cements itself deeper. And when a player's legacy becomes undeniable, their card market becomes bulletproof. He's not just stacking stats. He's building mythology. You're not buying a card. You're buying a piece of baseball history as is being written. And the people who get it now, before the next milestone, before the next award, before the next viral moment, those are the ones who win long term. Shohei is the safest bet in the hobby because he's the only player in the sport who can literally double his value in one night with his bat and his arm. If you're holding Ohtani, you're sitting on gold. If you're buying Ohtani, you're ahead of the curve. If you're ignoring Ohtani, you're gonna regret it. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. I'm gonna show you guys a little something. I love this card. I love this card. I love this other card. This is the Northern Lights card of Shohei Ohtani. This card, you couldn't get it out of a pack. You had to have been that one night in Hokkaido, Japan to have gotten this card. It's a promo card. That one night. This card is the second card with him hitting and pitching, and it's probably the only one that says MVP on it. 2017. Great two Japanese cards. These cards were from before he made it to the MLB. If you have Japanese cards of Ohtani, you're ahead of the curve. Because if you think about it, you have the Japanese market saying, I want that card of Ohtani, our people. So whatever comes to the US, it's almost like secondhand. Like, y'all can have that. Yeah, you guys can have this. You can't have this. So it's almost like saying that most Ohtani cards that are from Japan, it's almost like a short print because you're only gonna have a very limited amount of it. You're gonna have a very limited amount because most of them are in Japan. So it's almost like you have a short print. So did you guys see the news on what happened with the NBA? It just flipped the draft lottery on its head. The Board of Governors voted 29-1. Only Memphis said nah and started with the 2027 NBA draft. We're getting a brand new system, and trust me, this one is built to kill the tanking dead. The league is calling it 3-2-1 lottery, and hear what it means. Real talk. The lottery is expanding from 14 teams to 16 teams. So now even the 8th seed in each conference gets thrown into chaos. And instead of rewarding the worst teams with the best odds, the NBA is flattering everything out. It's just flattening everything out. The bottom 3 teams, they're not getting the golden ticket anymore. They each get 2 ping pong balls. That's it. Teams 4 through 10, they're actually getting 3 balls each. So being the absolute worst team in the league doesn't help you use it at all. The NBA is basically saying if you tank, you're not saving. We're not saving you. We're not giving you that top pick. And they're backing it up with teeth. Under the new system, the league can punish teams for tanking, cut your lottery odds, move your draft position, hit you with big fines. They're not playing around anymore. And check this out. Teams that can't win the number 1 pick in back-to-back years anymore, they can't win back-to-back in back-to-back years anymore. So the Wizards, they can't run it back and be like, oh, last year I got that number 1 pick, so and we're gonna suck this year, so we'll get another number 1 pick. It ain't gonna be like that no more. No team can have a top 5 pick 3 years in a row, which hits Utah specifically because they had those high draft picks couple of years in a row. So that ain't gonna work. The play-in teams get involved too. The 9 and 10 seed get 2 balls each. The losers of the 7 and 8 games get 1 ball each. So now the entire 16-team group is in the drawing. The whole entire 16-team group is in the drawing. And the league is even considering doing the whole thing live to build suspense. Yeah, I like that. I don't have a problem with that. Another big change is teams can't protect picks in the 12 to 15 range anymore. No more sneaky protections to the game system. The whole format runs through 2029, and then the NBA can decide whether to keep it or scrap it. They're even floating the future ideas like a draft credits system. Basically, a whole new way to reward competitive teams instead of bad ones. I like that. Adam Silver has been saying since March that fixing tanking was a priority, number 1. And this is the league planting its flag, saying we're done with team losing on purpose. We're fixing it, period. Whether it works, we'll see. But the NBA just made the draft way more unpredictable and way more dramatic. And mi gente, that's the breakdown for today. Walk with faith, move with purpose, and don't let anyone shake your spirit. This is the Max, el que te lo dice claro, and I'll see you on the next one.